testing out a product that seems like it might be an adult version of an easy bake oven. Let's figure this out in today's review. This is the product right here. It has a 4.1 star rating on Amazon, and you can get it for about $80. This is known as the waffle operation. This is the frying pan operation, and this is the cooking pot operation. These plates do remove, but I have seen reviews stating that that is pretty difficult to do. Let's see if we can do it right now. So what I think you do is you press this little lever right here, and that lifts them up, and they snap back into place. And same with this one up here. Okay. And snap them back into place. The wattage on this griddle part is 600 watts, and the wattage on this frying pan part is 450 watts. Something to be mindful about with regards to this product is I think it's important when you're using it, you use each side one at a time. For my first test, I'm going to be doing a Beyond Burger test in which I place it on the griddle and see how long it takes to cook all the way through. There are no preheat instructions for this device, so in that case it says just turn it on and oil up your surfaces. What I'm going to do now is adjust this off button to on. Now we take our Beyond Burger and we place it on here. Now we're closing this and then hitting the timer. We are approaching the 3.5 minute mark, so let's go take a peek. I'm noticing some condensation here and steam. Wow, that looks quite beautiful. Just to make sure this is even, I'm going to flip this. Now closing this. Approaching the 8-minute mark now, I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to take the internal temperature. It's 165, 166. We have our timer stopped at right about 8 minutes. I'm going to take this off and put it on a plate. And there's the inside, and it looks nicely cooked. For test number 2, let's try a grilled cheese and see how that goes. This griddle is all cleaned off. I'm going to turn this on and place my grilled cheese on there. Now I'm going to close this griddle and start the timer. We are approaching the 3-minute mark now. I'm going to check on this. It looks pretty good. At the 3-minute mark, I would say this is done, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Gotta turn off the heat first. That's what the grilled cheese looks like. I'm going to cut into it and do a sight and feel test. I would say that the unit itself does not have even heating. As you can see here, this is now cut into. You can see the melty cheese. One thing I noticed is that this grilled cheese looks pretty burnt. Not terribly burnt, but getting there. And this grilled cheese has parts to it that have unevenness in terms of cooking. For test number 3, I'm going to be doing a fried egg test on the frying pan part of this unit. I have the frying pan all cleaned off and oiled up. Now I'm going to go over here and adjust this to cooking. There we go. I am making a fried egg sandwich, so I will be popping the yolk. Starting my timer now. At the 1.5-minute mark, I'm noticing that it's cooking more on the edges right here than it is across the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is rotate this. There we go, we can see it starting to bubble up and whiten over there. I think the thing with this is you should really be rotating it almost most of the time so you can get it to cook more evenly, because there is definitely some uneven heat. Another observation I have is specifically with regards to this handle right here. You can see it's off balance. I flipped this egg at the 4:30 mark. I do think that this egg is a little bit of a bust because the surface got way too hot. So in that case, I might suggest that you cook your eggs more on the warm milk setting potentially. But I know for me, this got really hot. I wouldn't say actually that this egg got too burnt because this side looks pretty good. And this side looks pretty good, minus a little bit of burning. But the surface of this pan got way too hot, so that is a con I'm noting. For test number 4, I'm going to be doing a waffle test on the griddle and see how that cooks. This griddle is cleaned off and it's oiled up. Now I'm going to adjust this to on and put our waffle mix in there and then start our timer. I'm going to try a little under half a cup of waffle mix and see how that goes. Now I'm going to close this griddle and start the timer. Just at the 3.5-minute mark, I'm going to open this up and flip it. I would say that's probably ready to flip. It looks more like a crepe, to be honest with you. I'm noticing that this is also uneven, similar to when we just did the grilled cheese test. 6-minute mark now, I'm going to open this up. That's what it's looking like. Let's see how the other side is. That looks terrible. Wow. Oh, notice down here where this light is off. I think it stopped cooking throughout the process. This device is known to cycle on and off, so it must have cycled off while it was cooking this waffle. It's about 8.5 minutes now. I'm going to open this up and see how it looks. Roughly the same on the top. Let's flip it over. So you can see some grill marks there on the waffle, but it still looks very underdone. I'm stopping at a little over 9 minutes just because this is gonna take way too long. I don't think personally a waffle should take over 9 minutes to cook. Turning this off now and transferring the waffle to a plate. Not impressive. I'm doing the sight and feel test now, and as you can see here, it looks almost cooked, but not quite. It is very underdone right up here. What's interesting about this specific test is this is supposed to be the waffle operation where we use the griddle for exactly what it's supposed to be used for. And I found it to cook a waffle the absolute worst as compared to a grilled cheese or a Beyond Burger. What's really funny is if I didn't tell you guys that this is a waffle, I think you would maybe assume this is a piece of salmon. Next, I'm going to do boiling water and then move on to broccoli. The water is in the pot. It's just at the max fill line. And we're gonna take this top and place it on there. I adjusted this to cooking and I'm gonna start my stopwatch now. At the 13-minute mark, I'm noticing activity over here. I would expect this to be boiling by now, but it doesn't appear to be. At 17.5 minutes, the water did just start boiling. An observation I have about the hot plate is I think this boiling process would have been faster if this device hadn't cycled on and off so much. Next up, let's try some broccoli in the pot. I filled this up with water and now I'm gonna add the basket. There we go. Now for the broccoli. And then we take the top and we're gonna put it on there. Now time to plug it in. Now that the device is plugged in, I'm going to turn this on. And there we go, and we're starting our stopwatch now. At the almost 3-minute mark, I'm starting to notice some activity over in this pot. At 5 minutes and 15 seconds, I'm starting to notice some condensation on the top, as well as this unit has been cycling on and off. It just turned back on. We're pushing 10 minutes right now, and I can see that this top is starting to bubble up and pop off, and a bunch of steam is coming from the top. Now I'm going to open this top and see what we have. I think it still needs a little bit longer. At 15.5 minutes, it appears that the broccoli is done. The smaller pieces of broccoli seem more done than this one big piece right here. To conclude, let's talk about pros and cons. The pros of this product is that it is small, it's compact, and it does cook, so those are all pros. But let's get into the cons. The cons are that there's very uneven heating, and this device cycles on and off, therefore making the cooking time go much longer than I really find it needs to be. That does it for today's review. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.